Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever or wherever you're watching. Hopefully, I don't have anything in my teeth. I want to talk to y'all about this. See, the word that came to my mind was cluster. Don't want to say the word, but the mess that is 90 Day Fiance Tell All. But let's say hello to the chat first. Tony says, I never got the ding for you being live. That's why I played the thing twice, because notifications on YouTube are what they are. Chris says, hello, Josh and Tony Man in chat. Tony Man says, hey, Chris, congratulations. Chris says, thank you. Tony Man says, me and Chris are all you need. How you going to leave out Faux Minky Latte? Faux Minky Latte says, hey, everybody. And Tony Man says, she's alive. It's so nice to see you. Yeah, I had to take some time off. For those that are new here, I have anemia. Sometimes it kicks my ass. Last couple weeks were part of those times when anemia was kicking my ass. So I definitely had to just take some time to get my iron levels back. And I want to bring up the picture of the whole cast. Yeah, I like that one. Let me do like this. There we go, reorient. Oh no, I do like that because the picture's kind of small, so I'll do like this. These are the couples that came here. Tony Man says Faux wasn't here yet. Well, Faux is here now. Excuse me. Faux Minky Latte says these couples give me anxiety. Chris says, hey, Faux Minky Latte. And Tony Man also says, hey, Faux. That is what's up. Yeah, they do. They give me anxiety too. And somebody must have told them that they could only wear solid colors. And one person didn't listen. Chris says, can we get a refund on Jibri? Yeah. So who should we talk about first? Well, actually, what I should talk about first is the intro to the show, which two extra people were there that we did not count on being there, or we didn't know. At least I didn't know. And that is is his name Kevin or Keith? I never remember his name from his season of 90 Day. And oh geez, I'm drawing a blank on the other dude's name too. Anyways, let's talk about these boots. Because what the hell? I don't know who told him that this was a look. Tim, that's his name. Tim showed up in these boots. Maybe he's a Kanye West fan. I don't know, but it's a problem. Tony says Jibri's suit gave me anxiety. It didn't give me anxiety, but it was something to behold. But let me finish talking about these boots before I get into that suit. I know I look like crazy sitting here in top of the line. This is what I call so I call top of the line quarantine couture sweatshirt. You want to see something funny? Who am I? If you know that meme. Anyways, Tommy says, whomever you want, it's all talk aboutable. Yes, it is. Chris says 90s rock concert vibes. Very AC/DC. I don't know why that's the name that pops in my head when I see these boots, but that's what it pops in my head. Fomenki Latte says, it seems like all of them came in with a I'm a fight attitude. Oh, yeah. Aren't those boots for riding a horse? They do kind of look like riding boots. And who's Kermit? I don't know who Kermit is. Let me know who Kermit is. But these two were giving commentary. And see, I had to show the full thing because the pants make the boots look even worse. I'm just... Now, he could have... Let me tell you how he could have made this work. Take those boots off, number one. Swap them out for combat boots. You want to do a boot? We can do a boot. Do a nice combat boot. You could even do an ankle boot if these are like maybe a straight leg pants. Can't tell. Also, Tim, you're not as slender as maybe you were when you were younger. And it's this silhouette is drawing too much attention to your midsection right here. And, you know, we've all put on a pandemic 20, a panini 20, what I like to call it, or just being over 30, 20 pounds. Yeah, that's not what you want. You don't want to draw all this attention here. Also, the color shirt should have done a black shirt. And if anything, do the jacket lighter. Secondly, go up a size on the jacket because you wearing this tiny black jacket and a light shirt is making your shoulders look smaller and your midsection look bigger. And then it's given like you're looking a little hippie. This may not be an issue for you. Maybe that's what you were going for. But I find this silhouette to be a little bit unflattering, not the most flattering for you. And also, making your shoulders look this small inadvertently makes your head look very melon like. And this is not what we want to go for. We don't want to go for small body, big head look. That's, I've never heard anyone say, hey, I want to talk to the guy with the small body and a big head. No, this is not the look. Kenny, that's his name. I said Kevin or Keith. It was Kenny. You would think I remember people's names, but the way my mind works, I literally forget about you once your season is over. Like during your season, well, I shouldn't say that about everyone, because obviously we're never ever going to forget Big Ed or Angela, because they live on in infamy. But if you were a semi nice person in your season, you're not as memorable as the villains, we'll call them. But yeah, this Kenny did a much better job with the look. I still wouldn't have done a skinny jean or skinny pant leg, because I think this is a full suit. I would have went more with a straight leg, because like I said, as we get older, our midsections are not so felt. It just makes us look bigger in the middle when we put on a skinny pants. So let's not do that. But the color, definitely like the color. I've never liked either of their haircuts, but that's just my opinion. And it means nothing. Wear what you want to wear. If it makes you feel good, wear it. I'm just saying, for me, I didn't care for the haircuts so much. Tommy says the hoodie meme, good Kermit and evil hooded Kermit. No, it was not Kermit. Tony says, go up a size on those pants. I don't want to see if you're circumcised by the tightness of those nut hugger pants. Chris says he's got that reverse Tootsie Pop look. Yes. So let's see who else we want to go into. I'm just scrolling through my pictures because I didn't put them in any particular order. I just took a whole bunch of pictures. Okay, I'm going to start with probably the people that got talked about the least then. And that would be Ari and Binyam. Although we did start the show with a lot of Ari and Binyam, they really didn't do a whole lot after this. Ari announces that Binyam has gotten his green card and he's very happy. And he says, he can now be a father and he can work, and he intends to still do his MMA. Now, for some odd reason, this just, hits Jibri in the feels. I don't know why. And he decides he wants to just have a whole, back and forth with Ari, which is funny because Ari told him that, I'm going to go back and forth between them, that he's jealous of her clothes because they both came with the sparkles, but he outsparkles her. And as I look closer, I'm going to zoom in. These are actual sequins on the outside of this jacket. This is not a screen print. I thought at first that it was one of those just screen prints, but it looks like these are actual sequins that are sewn onto the jacket. So there's that. Miona didn't say much of anything, and people were trying to roast her on Twitter by saying her dress came from Shein. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I didn't think the look looks bad on her. The only thing that we need to ask about is this Kankelon braid. Where did this girl get this Kankelon braid from? This stiff, super stiff Kankelon braid that's braided in a fishtail. Like what? Girl, no. I know I'm sitting here with a literal twist out that I did not out. It's just twisted, but I didn't take it loose because, it's one of those days. But still, if I was going to do a braid, I'm sure I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm not a person that does hair, but what is this? Tommy says, I saw a tweet that said someone needs to stop talking or be ready for a second coma. Yes. This dude really out here mad that someone else was shiny too. Yeah. I think he was. I think that's why he attacked Ari. Good call, Chris. I think he attacked Ari for being shiny because he feels he's the only person that should be shiny. But first, he starts. What's crazy is he himself called his mother jealous, and then when Ari repeats it, he gets all upset and tells her, "Oh, don't talk about my mother or whatever." And to the point where did he? I think I have a picture when he switched seats with Miona, who barely said anything. Miona said like maybe one sentence the whole time. Oh, by the way, for anyone who's not watching the episode, the reason why I neglected to mention the reason why Tim and Kenny were there were to kind of do like a live version of Pillow Talk. So they're backstage reacting, and I didn't even talk about, as I'm seeing this picture here, I talked about the haircut that I really don't like on Tim, but is he messing with his eyebrows too? I'm just wondering if he's messing with his eyebrows. I think that's a thing that should stop too. I feel like he does things that take away from how well he would be able to look. That's my only reasoning for saying these things, because I don't think that he's an awful looking. It's not like we're working with Big Ed here, where it's very difficult to do something with that. He has something that you could work with, but it's like he's doing all these things that are taking away from his presentation rather than adding to. Fo says, did her baby hair disappear? Oh no, she never lays her baby hair. It's always slicked back. Like Miona's whole, do I have it here? Yeah, she always slicks it back. She never lays her baby hair. This is, that could be cultural when you think about it, because that's more of a Black woman thing for us to lay our baby hairs. I don't think, if you have straight hair, can you lay your baby hair? Good question. I have seen in some behind the scenes footage from K-pop videos where they will trim their baby hair and just brush it down, but they don't necessarily like lay it the way we lay it. Yeah, there's the image where he switched places with Miona so he can get closer to Ari to tell her that she's basically what did he say? She's not a star, that she's holding Binyam back. And I think Jibri's only frame of reference is Instagram. He feels that the only reason why Ari's holding Jibri back is because, and I'm trying to put myself in whatever space Jibri and Miona function from, and they give me everything is just for the clout. What's Instagrammable? What is picture perfect? And to him, he's looking at Ari like, oh, she's not picture perfect. She's not Instagrammable. So she's holding him back. Rather than saying, okay, you're holding him back by not being encouraging. He does mention that sort of in one way when he says that that she's holding him back by being realistic. I can see both sides of it. On the one hand, you do want someone that's going to encourage you in your endeavors. But on the other hand, Ari does have a point about being realistic because they are parents. When you become parents, you can't just do whatever because you have someone else that you're in charge of their life. Tony Man says, wow, is Big Ed your measuring stick? Yes, he and Angela are my barometer for I don't know what I would call it. Well, sidestepping that, because I feel like I would go into much of a negative space there. I can talk about the best and worst dress. Who do you guys think were the best dressed at the tell-all, and who was the worst dressed at the tell-all? Fomiki Ladi says, oh, I don't know why I thought she wore it with baby hair. Because it would have looked better with baby hair. That's what you're thinking of, what would usually go with that. I wonder if all of Jib's jabbering, I love that, Jib's jabbering was really meant for his woman. It didn't make sense how he went off. Yeah, and it seemed really weird, and why he directed it so much at Ari. Like, I don't get it. It almost felt like he had a crush on Binyam. Like, is the issue that you want Binyam for yourself? Like, why are you popping off? And then I feel a little bit bad for Ari that Binyam, as is what he always does, sits there and does nothing. He never defends his wife, not against his sisters, not against his friends, not against Jibri. Like, even if you agreed with Jibri as a husband, you're supposed to defend your wife and then, you know, deal with it later. Because now you're going to have to hear Ari's mouth about you not defending her by you sitting there and being your non confrontational self. Tony Man says those two live that FOMO influencer life. They do. They really do. They are like the poster children for, like you said, influencer life. Let's move on to this couple. By the way, I should mention Sean looked great. She usually does. She actually did better with her questioning. Usually she annoys me, but this time she really didn't annoy me too much. Tommy says best dress was the 97-year-old boy with Gone Girl, and the worst is Jabri, hands down. You're talking about Guillermo, and Guillermo, I do believe, has been here before. Guillermo's reincarnated. He was last year in the 1950s at some point, and he's reincarnated. But I agree, he's definitely the best looking. Let's get into muscles in Brazil. This is a very, very interesting thing because Patrick, I did call it, by the way. Do you remember a few weeks ago when I said that her shirt was tight all of a sudden and before it was loose? And I said those might be pregnancy boobies. I called it, they were pregnancy boobies because they do announce that Thais is pregnant. But what's interesting is, sorry about that. What's interesting is we learned that due to his steroid use, he he thought that he didn't have any sperm, or at least that's what he was told. And the streets are already going to talk about this. The streets are going to talk about how that baby might not be his. I know it. Just turn on my do not disturb for now so I wouldn't get more notifications. But yeah, so he thought that he was shooting blanks, and Thais came up pregnant. But another thing that's interesting, she said she came up pregnant while she was in Brazil, and that also puts questions into people's minds. So I'm not going to talk about that. That's not my place to talk about it. But the only thing I kept on saying is I felt bad if they have a daughter, because Patrick is built like a tank, and that little girl is going to be built like a tank. I hope she realizes this. And she might have to have a C-section. Do you see the size of his head? Anyways, Patrick would be on the decently dressed list if it weren't for sizing. This man is clearly a minimum a 3XL if he wanted the shirt to be tight. Probably a 4XL for it to properly fit those shoulders. And I feel like he's wearing an XL or maybe a 2XL shirt at most. And it's his underarms are eating the shirt, and it's not a great look. Also, the color, not the greatest color for him because he looks really, really pink in that. I would have went with maybe maybe the green that Thais is wearing would actually look better on him. I would reverse the colors. I would put that mint color on her and that green on him. And again, like I said earlier, Sean looks great. She always has, a nice. I said in a tweet last year that Sean is going to do two things. She's going to wear a primary colored dress with her arms out, and she's going to ask questions that she already knows the answer to. Now, she did throw me for a loop because that is not a primary color dress. That's a secondary color dress. And it still looks great. It's a shade of orange that I can deal with because I'm not the hugest fan of orange, but I like that shade of orange on her. Fo says he's going to insist on a DNA test. Probably. Tommy says, yeah, a couple of those dudes had shirts screaming, I don't fit you. Yeah, a lot of them had shirts screaming, I don't fit you. I do like something else that Patrick did later on in the show. I'm going to go into this other couple so I can tell you what Patrick did that was pretty cool. Where are they? Let's talk about it. I'm sure I have a screen capture of them. Did I not? Did I skip getting a screen capture of them? Oh, there they are. Okay. These two. When Bilal starts talking, it is verbal diarrhea and it's a whole lot of nothing. And Patrick basically fills us in on how it's all just a smokescreen and it's basically salesman talk, which is definitely what Bilal does. And I love how Sean dropped just a little teeny tiny bit of a bomb on Shahida. Because Sean, you know how Sean asks, like I said, she asks questions that she already knows the answer to. So Sean says to Shahida, so what stipulations do you have in the prenup for if one of the things that you've agreed on doesn't come to fruition? And Shahida looks like a deer caught in headlights because she didn't think that far ahead. Which, and her lawyer must suck too, because the lawyer should have. We saw her on camera speaking to a lawyer. The lawyer should have informed her about adding stipulations or clauses or whatever the proper legal term is for if the things that were promised to her do not come to fruition. And it's at this point that she realizes she fucked up. Well, I mean, everyone has warned this girl. Like, all you can do is warn a person. You know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. I do wish that she would have went with a little bit more of a bright color, or if she would have done a fully monochromatic navy blue. Actually, instead of navy, I would have went royal blue. Royal blue would have been nice. If her hijab was royal blue and the dress was also royal blue, that would have popped way more than this navy does. But you know, she's a beautiful woman anyway, so it's not like she has to do much. But I really would have liked to see a brighter color. Tony Man said, I called it word salad. Chris says, Bilal's a great value politician. Don't give him any ideas. Don't give him any ideas because he might try to run. He might try to run for office, and we don't need that. Foaming Light says that prenup is ridiculous. Yes, it is. And like I've said earlier, a lot of it is going to be negated anyways because it's a K-1 visa. He's responsible for her for after 10 years, no matter what. So, and then if she does happen to have a baby, he would be responsible for that baby. No matter what the prenup says, he would be responsible for that baby. So, I mean, he just wants to feel important while barely having a lot of things to be and feel important about. Foaming Light says, damn, I thought she was wearing purple. That would have looked nice too. A nice, like really rich purple. That would have snapped on her if she would have worn purple. This blue concoction she has on, it's a no for me. But during the whole season, she's been really boring, especially with her hijabs. There are some gorgeous hijabs, ornate hijabs that have like crystals and all kinds of beautiful patterns, funky colors. There's so much you can do, and she does none of it. She's just very understated, I guess would be her style. You very not very attention drawing, I guess. Tony Man says, yes, Bilal was using word salad when he spoke. He always uses it. Yeah, he said something stupid like, we live in a, what was it? An oppression of words? Is that what he said? And that's, what the hell does that even mean? And everyone just sat there and accepted that. Like that was an explanation for anything. No, it's going to be a no for me. Before I finish on Bilal and Shahid, I'm going to quickly notice the breath of negative energy that came into the room that's named Shahida. This girl is such, she just gives me such a Debbie Downer vibe. Like this girl has she ever been happy in her life? Like I get it because she was formerly married to Bilal, and I mean that's enough to make anybody not so happy. She at least did a little bit better with her color choice. But again, she doesn't do any, like her hijab is the most boringly applied hijab I've ever seen. She could at least wrap the bottom part around a little bit, or did something a little bit more stylish. But there's something about Shahida's energy that reminds me of Jibri's mother's energy. They both have that same kind of suck the energy out of the room type of personality. Tony says, I thought I saw little gems in her hijab. And yes, oppression of words. Yes, she did have, her hijab did have a little sparkle to it. That might have been crystals, but it just didn't show up very, like, if, as you can see in this picture, from a distance, it didn't show up much on camera, unless it was in a close up. Fomikilati said, I wasn't listening when Bilal talked. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. Just completely block it out. Actually, the best looking couple probably would have been Guillermo and Kara, if Kara wasn't, see, I see that Freudian slip, I said Karen. She might as well be named Karen, but Kara, if if she wasn't Gone Girl. But back to what I was saying about Shahida. Shahida came through and she basically said that Bilal was controlling and annoying, and he wanted, everything to be neat freak, and she had two smaller children, and her children are only a couple years apart. So imagine you have an infant and a 2-year-old, or you have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and this dude wants your house to be spotless. That's not going to happen with toddlers. So she's basically a walking warning. And Shahida is still sitting there talking about, oh, Bilal can change. Miss, this is Shahida's his second wife. That's not the first wife in there. That's the second wife. You're the third. That's not, that leopard's not going to change its spots. Good luck, though. That's all I want to say about Shahida, because she didn't really offer much. I wish Sean would have asked her, because I want to say, isn't this the one that wrote a book about her marriage after she see, my mind said after she deleted Bilal. No, after she divorced Bilal. I'm pretty sure this is the one that wrote a book about her marriage, and Sean didn't even bring it up. I maybe as a maybe she agreed to come on the show if that wasn't mentioned, but that's a missed opportunity. Tony says, I wonder if Kara was drinking during the pre-show. Maybe we'll get the dirt on part 2. Oh, it's possible, because Kara has been shown to be drinking a lot. That's one of the things that Guillermo complained about, was her drinking too much. I'll quickly talk about these two, even though I'm not that invested in this story, but let's go ahead and talk about Mohamed and Yve. And Yve, what's funny is Yve says that Mohamed doesn't tell her how to dress anymore, but she's definitely more covered up. And honestly, Yve, you look better this way. I mean, no, you have the right to dress however you want to dress. Everyone has the right to dress however they want to dress. But we don't need to see your thong. So this look, if this is his influence on your look, I think it's a better look. I think you look much better this way. I also peeped your jewelry, because Yve has on her biggest crystals. She has a Hamza. She has an infinity necklace there. And she also has the evil eye here. She tried to wear all her charms of protection while walking into this whole lion's den. I'm not mad at it. Great, that one. Chris says, I don't see Mohamed sticking around long term. Oh, Chris, I don't know if you've heard, but there's already leaked text messages of this dude talking to other women. Text messages and DMs. Allegedly. I have no proof of this. These are all just rumors, but I'm just saying, on the Twitter streets, there have been images shared that are allegedly text messages and DMs between Mohamed and other women. So there's that. I don't think did they say much? I don't remember much of anything other than them, the other castmates questioned him about saying he'll get a new sponsor. Other than that, not much happened there. Okay, let's get to, speaking of Kara and Guillermo, let me see if I pull that up. There they are. Tony Man says, I liked Mohamed's hairstyle. It's so much better. Yes, I do agree. The low haircut is so much better. He cut off all that permed hair and you just see the new growth. Mohamed did a big job. Yeah, but that the perm straight stuff, it was odd looking anyways when his roots started growing out. So yeah, the lower haircut definitely looks better. Chris says, of course he would. Haha. And Tony Man says, how you get them is how you lose them. Now, the 95-year-old that Tony Man mentioned is Guillermo, and the reason why we say that is because of this is his whole styling, the haircut, the part in his hair, um, the loafers that he has a tendency to wear. It's all very um, yesteryear. Oh, speaking of yesteryear, it's almost like would joke on Twitter about how this is the new Lucy and Ricardo because Kara has red hair, but it's more she's gone more of a strawberry blonde hair. And shout out to her weave pieces. Look at that weave, because you saw when they got married a couple months ago, her hair was like up to about here, like jaw length. You're not growing 12 inches of hair in 4 months, but it's a great weave the way that they have it sitting there. The only thing I don't like is this one little streak here kept on bothering me. That one little blonde streak. That's what made it look weavy. If they had covered that up, it wouldn't have looked weavy at all. It would have looked completely like, oh, I just grew this. Foe says he claimed he didn't tell her how to dress, even though he did. Yeah. Well, on the one, I can see both sides of it. On the one hand, when she met him, he slid into her DMs online when under a bikini pic. So this is how you met her. You met her in a bikini pic. So you really have no right to tell her to cover up, because when you met her, she wasn't covered up. But on the other hand, she was doing a little too much. Like, we could literally see your thong through your dress, and that's like, no. I mean, I don't. I wouldn't say no man, but it would be a very rare for a gentleman to want his girlfriend or wife to walk around with their ass out. Like, not everyone is Ice-T and Coco. Like, Ice-T does not care about Coco being on however many issues of King magazine with her ass out. That's what he likes. But that's a whole very specific type of relationship. I don't think that's the type of relationship that Mohamed was going for. What else happened with them? I think it was Patrick that took Kara to task for her being very, what's the word I want to use? The word that's coming to my mind is bossy, but I feel like there's a better word. Controlling. Very controlling, which is interesting because Patrick has the same tendencies. But I guess like recognizes like. But the thing what Patrick did, and I don't know if a lot of people mentioned or noticed because nobody responded to it, but Patrick slid in there, oh, like like most American women or something like that. And I'm like, Patrick, you sitting here talking about most American women? Okay. I was surprised nobody took him to task for that. Guillermo once again says that he's a grown man and nobody can tell him how much of a man he's going to be. And that's because where is he? There he is. Kenny G decided to show up and start talking trash, which I don't know why this whole outfit comes from 1989, but it does. And so whatever his name is, I think it might have been Chris, not 100% sure, but he basically said that Guillermo wasn't man enough for Kara. And Guillermo was like, no one's going to tell me how much of a man I am, especially not you. Oh, yeah, I did read this. I think that's all I have to say about Kenny G. Yeah, he was there for a moment, said his little 2 cents, try to get his little 15 minutes of fame, and like it didn't do much for me. Like he might as well have not even been there. But why does he look like he stepped out of 1989 though? It's really really odd, and not in a oh I'm trying to do a retro look kind of way, just kind of a I've been dressing this way and I just never changed type of way. Fomikilati says, I thought they were agreeing with Patrick. That would be interesting if they did agree. Chris says, what was the point of Kira's ex being there? She is enough of a mess on her own. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He showed up for like no reason because he didn't really have hardly anything to add to the conversation except she cheated on him 20 years ago or however long ago, and he'll never trust a woman again. And of course, Jibri, who has something to say about everything, I'm pretty sure Jibri was the one that told him to get over it. And I got to agree, you got to get over it, man. We're not going to go over this, over and over and over again. Jibri had an opinion on just about everything. Tony Man says, dude was channeling Jermaine Stewart. If y'all know who Jermaine Stewart is, that's the person that sings "We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off to Have a Good Time." That's Jermaine Stewart. Yes, definitely that period. Definitely that period. That would make it 87. Not even I don't know what year I said earlier, but yeah, that would make it more of an 87 look. I feel like something is either missing, or I don't know what it is. Maybe he needs something. It needs something. Let me see what else happened. I'm saving the best for last, so don't worry about it. I'm definitely saving the best for last. Let's talk about what's her name that was sitting there. Here she is, Emily and Kobe, and she showed a beautiful picture of their daughter. And my messy ass, my first thought was, oh, what a beautiful baby. I hope she's not on TikTok 15 years from now crying about how her white mother doesn't understand her, because that's like a TikTok thing now. Emily, please learn about Kobe's culture, and please don't. There's a cat out there trying to get attention. Anyways, yeah, learn about Kobe's culture and don't alienate your baby girl, because that would be horrible to see. Just don't do that, because we have enough of that. I do think the red looks nice on her. I'm still not loving parting the hair all the way like over here. Like, what? I don't know why she does that. But what was funny is that they talked about jealousy and about how Kobe had, I guess, was talking to some other chick while she was he still in China at the time? I want to say that she said that he was in China and he was on a date, and that made her jealous. And so she came out with this way that's supposed to keep women from being jealous over Kobe. And let me see if I have. I definitely took screenshots of this because it's so ridiculous. You can't not take screenshots of this. This is her way of keeping other women from getting with Kobe, making him wear these underpants that say "I love you" with her face on them, and we definitely are peeping Ari getting a good look. She got an eyeball full. Tony Man says she looked like she was going to bust through the wall, yelling, "Oh yeah, oh my God, Tony, that's so mean." I should have tweeted that. Chris says she's going to be so jealous of her daughter. I can see it already. Oh, I hope that doesn't become the thing, because that sucks. That would suck so bad. She should. I hope that she really really learns about women of color for her daughter's sake, just so. Because, like I said, I've seen too many TikTok videos of young biracial young ladies who have so much pain from their white mothers, and it's really really sad. I don't want that to be her. Emily is gross for that. Yeah. So she's getting a good look. I have more screenshots than that. Then she pulls up his shirt so people can see even more his behind. This is why I put it in the thumbnail. Are those supposed to be hearts? I think they're supposed to be hearts, but they're like warped. It would have been better to just make them like regular shaped hearts, but then it has her panties on it. I mean, her face on the panties. It's very interesting. And for some reason, you see Miona is completely surprised by this. Like, oh my gosh. And for some reason, Jibri yells to Bilal, oh no, Bilal's jealous. And I because the camera didn't pan to Bilal, we couldn't see what Bilal was doing. So I'm guessing maybe he was trying to cover up Shahida's eyes so that she doesn't see Kobe in his drawers. But yeah, that's a thing that happened. That's supposed to stop the jealousy or whatever. But Kobe does tell us that he has a job at a asphalt facility where he does some form of chemistry where he has to test like the not the consistency, but I guess the chemical makeup of the asphalt, and he really enjoys that because he gets to work alone. So, which I enjoy. I like when I'm doing projects like that. I kind of like to work alone because no one likes to be micromanaged, and a lot of people aren't into the office politics thing. So I can see why he would like to work alone. But other than that, I don't think I have much for else to say about Emily and Kobe. If y'all want to say something, let me know in the comments what y'all think about Emily and Kobe. I'm glad to see they're happy. I didn't think that it would end up that way, but it is what it is. Oh, there is something I didn't mention about since I did bring up Jibri and Miona. I've mentioned it probably multiple times, but they've been married for 2 years, and their whole storyline is pretty much made up or a reenactment. So it's just odd. The whole situation is odd. I don't know what Jibri's going for as far as like, I mean, I know what he's going for as far as getting famous. He wants clout. That's what he's going for. But I'm trying to figure out what persona he's trying to enact, because he's sitting here and he's trying to give everyone his 2 cents, and it's like, you're the second, no, I'm sorry, you're the third youngest male up there. I think the second youngest is Mohammed, and the actual youngest is Guillermo, who's the youngest and slash the oldest at the same time. He's the most mature, but he's the youngest. And you're trying to give all this advice, and it's like, mm, not the right messenger. And so I guess we'll save the best for last. The last person that I want to talk about, if I didn't miss, let me know in the comments if I forgot somebody. But the last person I want to talk about is, one of my favorite people right now on the show, and I think that they should get their own spinoff on 90 Day, the Single Life. They should just follow them around, and that is our buddy John, who came in and he was just like, everybody's dressed up. John could be bothered to starch his collar, but he's noticing everybody's dressed up, and he tells us that he let it slip that Thais is pregnant, and Thais found out because somebody messaged her on Instagram and was like, "Congratulations," and she was like, "Congratulations for what?" And the person was like, "Oh, John said that you're pregnant." So Thais is upset about that because she didn't want to tell anybody until like the tell all. She didn't want to. Well, that's what they say, but on Instagram, there's literal like an announcement picture with her and Patrick. I didn't see it on Instagram, mind you. When I say on Instagram or on Twitter, I don't follow anybody from 90 Day on social media. I'm not that nosy, but on my timeline on Twitter, I will see that some people that I follow take screen captures of Instagram and repost it on Twitter. So that's how I find out about some of these things. Chris says Jibri is trying to come up as a relationship shock jock. I feel like the time period is over for that. It's I mean, just based on the amount of YouTubers that are imploding right now, especially millennial YouTubers that are imploding right now, I think we're going through another changeover, a cultural shift. And he and Miona are still doing the millennial clout chasing that worked well in 2015, 2016. But as we head into 2023, that whole Instagram flossing stuff is not, I don't think that's going to hold weight anymore. So he needs to come up with an actual persona, an actual personality, an actual having something to say about real things in the world. Otherwise, he's going to get swept under the rug, I guess. Jibri thinks him and Miona are old timers. Maybe. But Miona is only 23. I believe her which is funny. The two youngest people are acting much older than the older people there, because Miona, for her flaws of the whole black fishing stuff, her personality has not been a negative personality. I've not seen her say anything mean or treat people poorly. Um, Really, she just seemed like she just want to make her makeup company, and she's not really huge into Jibri's band, which she could probably stand to be more supportive. But on the same side, she might be like how Ari is, just being realistic, which sometimes you need to hear. But what I was saying, Miona and Guillermo, for being both 23 years old, they have really they've shown themselves pretty well. I can't say that they really did anything to embarrass themselves. Like I said, the only thing that we have to criticize Miona on is the former blackfishing, because it doesn't seem like she does it anymore, but she did used to do it. And Tony Man says sparkles. Yes, of course, because Jibri starts up with John, and that was the wrong one to try to start up with. Oh, I wonder if I can do. Is there a? I might be able to show y'all a clip of that, because trying to describe it does not do it justice. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find a clip. Let me see if I can find a clip, because that was just a lot of fun. And Jibri wasn't ready. I don't think Jibri knows how to really go back and forth. Not with an OG, especially from the Northeast. And I can tell you this from being from the Northeast, being from Connecticut, born in Massachusetts. You got snappy comebacks. That's what we do. This is what we do. You're not going to talk shit to a New Englander and not get shit talked back. It's just not something that's going to happen. Let me see if I can find a clip. Thank you, Tony Man, for that. Yes. All right, let me change the speed. Sorry, my computer is really slow today because it wants to do an update, and I'm not trying to do an update until I finish here. Then I'll do an update and let it sit overnight. Okay, let me share. Oops. Excuse me.
What's up, John? How you guys doing? Everybody's all dressed fancy, huh? Pretty smiles, everybody. Nice to meet you. All looking sharp. What's going on?
John, so you have been a major part of Patrick and Thais' journey. You are going to be an uncle.
I know, huh?
How'd you feel about that?
I'm excited. And it was a total shock, but I was happy for him. I might have gotten drunk and told a friend, but I forgot I told her that I was smashed.
Yeah, the girl was like on my Instagram, congratulations. I'm like, congratulations for what? Because we even told my family, congratulations for your baby. Who told you? John?
I was just like, probably was me, but I don't remember. And I'm like, that was like 3 weeks ago. You drunk right now?
Jeffrey.
Drunk? Yeah, how many beers you drank this morning, bro? Nothing, man. I had 6 last night. Yeah, I feel like you had a 12-pack this morning. No, man, your sparkles are blinding me, though, bro. Man. I don't know if I can focus up. Yeah, they're shining off your head, boy. Oh, I can see that. Yeah, put that.
Okay, everybody, take a breath. Let's move on. Clearly, John,
they're not going to move on.
Interactions were contentious, to say the least. Let's take a look.
What is this, John?
What is this sweat?
Beer?
Beer?
In the morning.
You know what beer is?
Honestly, he wasn't bothering anyone. He was standing in the corner playing his video game, drinking a beer. I would get it if he was sloppy drunk, being bothersome, but he was literally minding his business, standing in the corner, playing his, I don't know what remote that is, whether it's PlayStation or
I know crazy. No.
I don't know,
I'm gonna say crazy.
Xbox, but I
You arrive one day, I'm sitting here playing a video game, you're gonna pull this? If I have a beer at 11, 12 in the afternoon, what does that matter to her? We should be ourselves and individuals. And
fun fact, beer used to be a breakfast drink. I mean, it was a couple thousand years ago, but still.
Eu entendeu o que ele estava querendo dizer, porque eu não gosto que ele fala com o John. John estava falando ou mal de mim e tentando mudar a mente de Patrick.
Bachelor party, surprise, you don't even know. We're gonna have like 100 hookers. You don't even know. I don't even remember that. Hello.
What you guys can do is like you guys can.
Really? I was listening, okay?
Over there.
You need to take care of your life.
What are you talking about?
I was listening. Everything.
What did I say? Whipped. You know, I already know how this is gonna go. So
I just want to see the part where he goes back and forth with Jibri some more. I think it's going to happen just now. But let me read some comments and then I'll hit play again. Foamy Kidalachi says, I see a podcast in Jibri's future. I meant old timers as in they've been married the longest. Oh yeah. I can see that. Toby says, remember to speed for clip. Yep. Thank you again for that. I'd cut the clip. Don't tempt fate. It was a PS5. Thank you. I knew you would know whether it was a PS5 or not. I don't know. From the only game controller I recognize is a Wii controller, and of course the Nintendo 64, because I guess I just grew up on Nintendo and I still like Nintendo, and I know it's a rarity, or at least might be the. I don't know what. Tony, man, you tell me what's the most popular game system, because I really don't know, because I feel like I hear people talking more about PlayStations than Xbox or Wii. But it could just be the circles that I'm in.
So that's why I'm gonna throw a bachelor down in the face.
Okay, John.
Yeah, what happened there, right?
Yeah. You were definitely, as how you said, trash talking her.
You got me. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Yeah, I'm guilty. That was my bad, you know. Well, I love him and I want them to be happy. Like, I think she's good for him and I think they're good for each other. Like, it's, you know, I'm a combative person. So if you say something to me, then I fire back, you know?
Do you think your brother is whipped?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, without a doubt. I love you, though. Love you. But you definitely whipped. You whipped. You happy. You don't have a happy family. You won't. Okay.
Nobody asked you, Jibri.
Okay,
Nobody asked you.
I'm just glad you don't have your cowboy hat on. I would have probably pissed my pants and laughed for you. I feel bad for you. Yippee-ki-yay, Woody. You a joke. I'm having a conversation with him. And then I have to respond. I apologize. You need to stop third wheeling, bro. Third wheeling? Yeah, you all in their business like it's your brother, bro. How's your family doing on the phone? It's not your brother. You gotta treat him like your brother. Are you still living at home? And then you talking about your girl right now. You talking about your brother's girl right now. Come on. You feel me? Bro. Get off the.
That's right. Get off the tit. From now on, he's going to be known as Sparkles. I'm not calling him Jibri anymore. After this next week, when you hear me saying Sparkles, that's who I'm talking about. Sparkles. Okay. Chris says it's the PS5 for MMO and Wii for party games in my circles. And Tony Man says PS5 and Xbox Series 10 both cost $600. Yeah, that's a grip. That's a grip. My first car didn't cost $600. But all in all, how did you guys enjoy the tell all? I had a good time, and I would have had a better time if John was out there earlier, because like it's just he needs to be there. We need someone like him to inject a little bit of something in, and everything. I love how for every little thing Jibri said, John had to snap back, clap back, just that fast, and simple stuff. But it's the way you say it that makes it shiesty. Like, how's your family on a farm? Something like that could be a positive thing when you say it with a different intonation. But when you say it with that intonation, then you know it's shit talking. I don't know why they bleeped out tit, though, when he said get off the tit. That's not really a swear word. I mean, to me, it's not. Can't wait for part 2, and hopefully you mention the tweets. Oh, yes. Before I go, I should go into Twitter because there was some pretty cool tweets. What I'll do, let me open a tab and I'm gonna go into Twitter. I did like and share some tweets because Twitter for a while. Jibri was just trending, just the word, the name Jibri. One day I'm gonna have a super fast like computer. Okay, let me stop sharing that screen and start sharing this screen. This is my tweet from April of last year. And it says, Sean didn't ask about Mike's racist post. Mahogany pretending not to know English. Jasmine's wig's lack of parting space. Sean is going to do two things: wear a bright, primarily colored dress with her arms out and ask questions she already knows the answer to. In which she actually proved me wrong because she wore, like I said, a secondary color dress because orange is a secondary color. All right, let's check out some tweets that I had shared. Okay, Sparkles. This may be my go-to from now on. This man is all of Twitter. I'm gonna ask you 3 times. Do you want to marry this man? Matt. Oh, I should be saying the people's names. My bad. And Glenn, shout out to you for this tweet. This was what's up. Also, Jean-Luc Picard. Shout out to Jean-Luc Picard. Follow that person because they have the funniest 90-day tweets. Mastiff Fly Gruff says, I think I found Jibri leaving his honeymoon, and you got to wait for the boots. Wait for the boots. Look at that. Look at that. I could see this being Jibri in his elder years. But shout out to the pink. Like I like pink a lot. I ordinarily would not mix different shades of pink, but for some reason I'm not mad at this. If anything, I just don't like that it's shorts instead of long pants. But I'm actually not mad at that. I Wed Fred says Patrick is calling American women controlling when he made Thais beg to just buy a dang vase for the house, which is true. Coupled with Chaos says this is a refreshing voice of reason. Give this guy his own TV show. Sincerely Be Blogging says she looks so unhappy, which you can see during the show and also during the tell-all. Like she's gonna get premature wrinkles from making this face because this, I just don't understand. Are the pickings so slim that this is moving on? Brentitude is an ally, says relatable, and it's just a screen share of Shahida says. So maybe that was more of a royal blue. And maybe on my TV, maybe I gotta adjust my TV settings because it looked navy. It didn't look this royal blue. That looks much prettier, the royal blue. So maybe it's my TV settings. I take it back, Shahida, about the blue color. This is a nice blue. Maybe I gotta say it must be my TV settings for it to not have looked as blue. Team X says Thais just said Patrick was cheating on her with a girl he was training, but he has the nerves to talk about American women. What does that say about American men? Pixie Stardust Puffy says, now you have a child, which is way more expensive than a laptop and a toothbrush combined. How about that? Now, this is referring to when Kara said that she said to no to Guillermo about the laptop and told him, well, why don't you get a toothbrush that's cheaper? And, Pixie Stardust is saying, now you have a child, which is way more expensive than a laptop. Brenditude is an ally, says that scene in a car with Bilal Hole pulling over and telling her to get out just stressed me out all over again. Petty Pablo says, so when is Bilal going to admit he had a vasectomy? Yeah, this is a thing a lot of people are guessing. Violet Brown says, Patrick controlling ass calling out Kara controlling ass. That's what I said earlier. Like recognizes like. And then Anthony Magnificent says, "Who wore it better?" And here is a picture of oh god, I forgot the name of these wrestlers. They're WWE wrestlers. Tony Man, put in the chat what the name of these wrestlers are, and you can see the jackets. Actually, I'm gonna go in closer so you can see the details of these the Nasty Boys. That's what they were called, the Nasty Boys. So you can see the details of the jackets and how it's very similar. The graffiti on the jacket is very, very similar to what the Nasty Boys have on. Was that it, or did I have some more? The face you make when you single-handedly won the 90-Day Fiance tell-all without being an actual cast member. And I Wed Fred says, the tell-all is not ready for Jibri. And if for those of you not old enough to know who this person is, this is Liberace. He was a famous pianist in the 70s and the 80s, and he was very much known for his extravagant style of dressing. And he used to play the piano with all these rings on, too. A lot of times they would do a close-up on his hands playing the piano, and you could always see his rings. I think Mohamed wasn't wrong for asking Eve to cover up. Who goes to dinner with their thong on full display? Says, love effortlessly. And then Violet Brown says, Jibri showed up to the tell-all like... that is great. I can't stop watching it. Carrie Zombie says production nailed it, cutting right to Jibri when Kara said this. I know grown-ass men that still act like children. And look at the absolutely saucy look on Jibri's face. Look at that sauciness. Okay, there's some comments here. Actually, I'm going to go back up to this one while I'm reading the comments. Chris says, the tell-all was an excellent mess. Tony says, can't wait for part 2, and hopefully you mentioned the tweets. Oh, definitely. I know of a certain tweet that's still getting liked today. Well, that's good. I told you I would. Fo Mickey Light says, I watched it on 1.5 speed. It was the only way to get through it for me. Fo also says, wait, how Bilal gonna have a baby with Shahida, even putting it in a prenup when he's been snipped? Yeah, that's the rumor is that, or a lot of people believe that Bilal has been snipped and that he's hiding this fact from Shahida. Hot Flash Honey says the faces of Kara, which she did. She was very emotive in her reactions. I should have used one of these for the thumbnail. But yeah, she has a very, very expressive face. But yeah, you could see that this one weave piece right here. It was just bothering my soul. I just would have combed. I just would have combed right here. Just a little bit. Just covered that up so that the blonde is just peeking out from underneath. It's too chunky looking. And the Latifa says, my faves linking up for the first time, which was nice. They have they can admire each other and understand each other for both being in relationships with very controlling women. And then someone writes, the two pregnant people are Kara and Thais. And this was the picture I was talking about. Thais put on, I guess, their Instagram with the sonogram and, the pregnancy test. And then this is Kara's pregnancy photo. I forgot what you call it. Maternity photo shoot. She looks very nice here. Not a bad photo. I'm not in love with it's like the top of the dress is pretty, but the bottom of the dress is too plain. But she herself always looks beautiful, despite her personality. Jibri thinking of comebacks for everyone who comes for him in Miona at this tell-all, and that's from Violet Brown. Did I like more than that? Violet Brown, I'm telling my kids this was the Matrix. Yeah, and that's me retweeting that one about the whatchamacallit, the Nasty Boys. All right, I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna wrap it up because I've already gone over time by about 10 minutes. But we had a good time talking about this one. Did you guys see the preview for the next episode? Tony says maybe Bilal and Patrick have grape nuts in common, as well as mutual business respects. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that, but that's pretty much that could be true. That could be true. Grape nuts. That could be true. So what I'm gonna do, I think what I'll do is I'll play the little preview for what we have in store for next week, and then I'll get out of here because I don't want to hold everybody up. Because it's a Monday night, I'm sure people are ready to get out of here, and I got a plan for the rest of the week. I'm gonna go ahead and let me see here. Okay, I think this part is where it starts showing what we have in store for us for next week.
I just want to ask if any of the other couples, if their person had ever told them that they would get another sponsor.
This is my personal things, you know?
But my question is why?
It's not anybody business. Stop, you need to chill. When I got with Miona, you wasn't necessarily happy, bro. You was just literally looking at our situation like, must be nice. This is my wife. This ain't my girlfriend no more. She rubbed me the wrong way. This is bull.
Leaves Miona sitting there alone. Oh, they didn't show Patrick. Patrick was still talking shit behind the scenes. And that's where Tony Man was talking about the tweets where it said that Bilal's going to get a second coma because the dude that not Bilal, I said the wrong thing, Jibri. The dude that Jibri's arguing with is his former best friend, and that's the dude that put him in a coma the first time through fighting. And so people are saying if he keeps fighting with homeboy again, he's going to get in a second coma. Tony says, I'm just sitting here on my couch. When this is done, I'm rebored. Well, you got to start watching Paper Girls. It was a good show. Or maybe watch Sandman. You know, we're split on Hood Podcast. We're split down the middle. Two of us really enjoy Sandman, and two of us are a little bit ambivalent about Sandman. So I would give it a shot, see if you like it. And with that, I guess I will get out of here. I will be back tomorrow. We will get caught up on 90 Day UK. I think tomorrow I better do 90 Day Love in Paradise, and then Wednesday we'll do 90 Day UK. Unless you want me to do both of them tomorrow, then I'll be really caught up. I'll see what I can do. I might be able to pull 2 live streams tomorrow out of my behind. And so I can get caught up because I'm too behind in Love in Paradise, and I'm really upset that there isn't a tell-all for that. There should be a tell-all for Love in Paradise. So I will do that tomorrow afternoon, and possibly tomorrow night I'll go ahead and do 90 Day UK because we need to talk about Richard's messy self. He is, oh gosh. Okay, Tony says they were talking about MMA dude knocking out Jibri. Oh, I thought they were talking about that dude because that dude had already knocked out Jibri. Like that dude, the Serbian dude, David, he previously has already knocked out Jibri and put him in a coma. So Jibri really shouldn't be talking about fighting anyone. Do whatever. I'm sure we'll be here. I know I will. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I appreciate that. And I will try to give a little bit better of a visual because I know I look like hell right now, but I didn't want to take another day off. I'll try to slap some makeup on my mug or something. And with that, I will say goodnight. Thank you again for passing by. And definitely check out Hood Podcast. Go to Hood Podcast, or it's actually YouTube/the JREMY. And you will find us talking about international news of the weird and viral stories. So definitely check that out. Carissa says, thanks for the show. And Fomiculai says Jibri is soft. Yes, he is. He's soft. He's baby wipe soft, and he needs to stop threatening people, or not threatening people, but wanting to fight um, Binion, because Binion will do a flying kick out of nowhere and knock that boy out. Leave it alone. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight for real.